Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cult Podcast with me, Sim, where I talk about some of the greatest entertainment all the way from South Korea. Today I will be talking about some of the dramas I've recently watched and dramas that I've managed to uphold my attention span with as well. Well, almost. So let's get straight into this episode. So these dramas I've been watching over the past couple of months, and we first have 18 Again, which is literally in Korean 18 Again as well. So this drama aired in September 2020 and has the classic 16 episodes. It was based and inspired by the film 17 Again, which stars Zac Efron. And I love how the production crew made their own story of this own version of this movie and added their own unique qualities to the drama as well. So in the cast we have Kim Ha-neul, who is a long-time actress who debuted in 1998. She plays Jung Da-jung, who is the mum of twins. Jung Da-jung sacrificed her career to look after her children, but now her kids are old enough, so she decides to pursue her dreams, which is to become an announcer on the news. We next have Yoon Se-hyun, and he is an actor that I've been waiting to come up in a drama again. I haven't seen him in such a long time, so it was nice to see him again in my dramas. And he plays the father of the twins and is known as Hong Dae-young. He is a hotshot basketball player, but when he was young he had to sacrifice his basketball career to look after his children. And then we have Lee Do-hyun, and he plays the young version of Hong Dae-young. So the plot of this drama begins with Jung Da-jung and Hong Dae-young, who are childhood sweethearts who met up in school. Jung Da-jung becomes a young mum at 18 together, and they struggle to bring the twins up. They reach a moment in their marriage where things are not looking good, so they are on the brink of divorce and financial problems are becoming more evident. So one night Hong Dae-young is throwing basketball hoops, and wishes that he could go back in time to when he was young. And his wish came true, because the next morning he wakes up and he finds himself in the body of his younger self. So then he goes on to live with his best friend Go Duk-jin, and he is played by Kim Kang-kyu, who is also a great actor, and he lives under the pretense of being his son, under the name Go Young. So Duk-jin is a CEO of a game company, and his house is so cool and trendy, and it's just basically it's just amazing. There's loads of like Marvel superheroes around, and he's really into his games. And the relationship he has with the teacher Okain, which is the teacher of one of the twins, like homeroom teacher, is really cute. There are loads of cute little scenes between them where they portray Korean dramas in the past. So the OST of old Korean dramas would come up, and it's just funny the way that the relationship between them. So this newly returned Hong Dae-young begins to go to school again, and in going to school he understands more about the issues his children are going through, even though no one knows he is Hong Dae-young, though, apart from his close friends. So his children don't know this either. So he helps his son shake off his bullies and helps him pursue his basketball dream as well. At the same time, he also tries to understand his daughter's feelings as well. He does all this and understands over time how much Jung Da-jung actually loves him. So as Jung Da-jung's career sets off on becoming an announcer, she is not very welcomed into the workplace at the start, but she slowly builds her way up and gains the support from a baseball player, and in the end even her superiors feel guilty that they were not nice to her to begin with and look down upon her since she was a young mum. The ending is a really happy one, but it is quite realistic, which I quite like. The thing to take away from this drama is that, well, for me, the one thing I took away from this drama is that there is a song in the OST called If We Love Again, or in Korean, 다시 사랑한다면, and it is one of my favourite songs ever. In the past, Chanyeol and Chen from EXO covered this on a music show. I can't remember which one, but ever since I heard it from then on, it's one of my favourite songs, and it's really nice to hear. So overall, this drama is very wholesome and very great. You should give it a watch. The one thing I love about dramas generally is how they have a twist on reality. I don't know, I like things that aren't really so real because it makes things more magical and more sort of like makes your imagination run wild sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I like about this drama. So on to the next drama, and that is called Mr. Queen, or Chorin Hwangu. I think I said that right because I just read it straight off and I forgot to practice. But yeah, this drama aired in December 2020 and has 20 episodes. And this drama is one that is set in like the past Korean times, like the old times. And I love seeing old Korean dramas like set in the past because they're so interesting. I mean, when I watch British dramas or American dramas that are set in the past, I don't really think much of it because I'm used to seeing the past, how the past was sort of set up. But when I first saw a Korean drama set in the past, it was so interesting and fascinating to me. And I know even though the story is obviously made up, but like seeing how things used to be back in the day is just really, really fascinating to me. So the cast of this stars Shin Hae-sun, who is a really popular actress at the moment, and she plays the Queen Chorin, and also Kim So-young. She is the 25th queen of the Joseon dynasty, so that's like general knowledge, and has the soul of a man in her body known as Jong Bong-hwan from the present day. So this Jong Bong-hwan from the present day was a chef, and he brings his skills from the present into the past and uses it when he is trapped in the body of this queen. So things such as his cooking skills and also his speech from the present time, which is obviously unheard of during the day, during those past days, comes to light. And secondly, we have Kim Jung-hyun, and he plays Lee Won-bom, and he is the 25th king of the Joseon dynasty, or King Cheoljong. He is not known as the best king in history, I remember, but in this drama, it's not really based on history. So in the drama, he's nothing like what he is described as in history. He is somewhat controlled by the Grand Queen Dowager, but slowly makes a stand against her, and he secretly tries to make up his own reforms to help restore justice back into his kingdom and his palace. So the plot of the story starts off with Jang Bong-hwan, who's played by Choi Jin-hyuk, and he wakes up in the Queen Chorin's body after an accident. In the present day, he is in a coma because the last thing he remembers was just jumping into a pool, and I think he hit his head off the bottom of the swimming pool, and that's it. So in the present day, he's in a coma, and now he's stuck in the past and he's woken up. He's told by his close maid that the queen, or himself in the body he's in, was thrown into the water and he nearly died, and has been asleep ever since. So in his new body, he tries to figure out how to get to the present day again. And at the beginning, the Grand Queen Dowager got all the water removed from the lakes around the palace, so the queen wouldn't try anything again. So he tries to get the water back into the lake, which is a headache because literally they were just like dragging pails of water up and throwing it in. But yeah, and but then over time he also tries to understand and figure out who would want to kill him as the queen. And ever since the Queen Chorin has woken up, she seems very different because obviously she's got the soul of Jang Bong-hwan now, and her speech is all different compared to what she used to be like. And it's really funny because the king tries to understand her speech and makes like a dictionary of her words. So the queen tries to understand as well the rules of the palace, and basically comes up with her own methods to survive the palace life. Slowly, the king starts to fall for the queen, who, in the beginning, the king thought the queen was a very big threat because of the differences in their families. They're from different families. But now he understands her true intentions. The king originally was in love with Jo Ha-jin, who is played by the beautiful actress Seol In-ah, which I really, really like. She's such a great actress. And but yeah, over time, the love between the king and this Jo Ha-jin begins to fade due to the eccentric queen that's come into play. And at the beginning, we see that there is a lot of hate between the king and queen, and the king literally tries to kill the queen, but in the end, it's very cute and rather unexpected. So the thing I love about this drama is that Shin Hye-sun does such a good job of portraying a man inside her body, and it makes the drama even more funny and different to the other dramas which are set in the past because of the way the story unfolds. I think it really grips the audience as well, as we are all wanting to hear and wanting to see what more this Mr. Queen will do and how she will outsmart people in her next move, because everyone is basically a threat to her, and she figures that out quickly and tries to outsmart them. But even though this drama was accused of not showing accurate history, I think it is such a great story, and if you want to know the truth about the history of South Korea and Korea generally, which is obviously nothing like this drama, then research it, because Korean history is really, really fascinating as well generally. The OST has some great singers from this drama. We have I think I'm saying this right, Noratsu, Din Din and Ximin from EXO, as well as Jo Hunya from AB6, etc. So overall, this drama is really good and wholesome, and it is one of my favourites which have been set in the past. So yeah, that's that drama. And the next drama I'm going to talk about, and the final one I think, if this isn't too long, is the drama Do You Like Brahms? And in Korean it is known as Brahms를 좋아하세요. This drama aired in August 2020 and consists of 16 episodes. It is a rom-com where the main basis of the drama involves classical musicians. So within the cast we have firstly Park Eun-bin, who plays Che Sung-ga, who decides to go to university again to pursue her hobby and passion, violin, after she already completed a degree in business admin. Next we have Kim Min-jae, who plays Park Jun-young, who is an extremely talented pianist whose image deteriorates slightly due to another pianist becoming first in a competition where he came second. The money he makes from his competitions seems to always go to his parents, particularly his troublesome dad, who is somewhat AWOL, leaving his mum basically by herself to run a restaurant and struggle. And thirdly, we have Kim Sung-chol, who plays Han Hun-ho, who is a talented cellist and is best friends with Jun-young, and also the boyfriend of the next character, who is played by Park Ji-hun, and she plays Lee Jung-kyung. She's a talented violinist and is also very rich. Her grandmother is in charge of a well-known musical foundation, and her grandmother wishes for her to continue this since she has come back. Lee Jung-kyung has come back from completing her PhD or doctorate, I think that's the same thing, in America. Next we have Lee Yoo-jin, who plays Yoon Dong-yoon, and he was originally a cellist but gave it up and now has his own stringed instruments workshop and basically just sort of fixes things. He's very good friends with Hyuno as well, and seems to somewhat like Che Sung-ga as well. And finally we have Bae Da-bin, who plays Kang Min-sung, and she is Che Sung-ga's best friend and is somewhat in an awkward relationship with Dong-yoon. So the plot of this drama shows the struggles of musicians trying to make a name for themselves. Che Sung-ga loves the violin but is not the best player. Because of this, she is constantly comparing herself to others who are much better than her at playing the violin. However, her passion to play the violin helps her to continue going on with her hobby and her passion. So after graduating with the violin from university, she becomes an intern at the Kyung-ho Foundation, which is what Lee Jung-kyung's grandmother owns. Usually, musician graduates go abroad to America, where they go to graduate school and stand a better chance to make a name for themselves, which is where we see Lee Jung-kyung and Han Hun-ho come back from. However, Che Sung-ga's teacher did not really help her with her path, and even though she tried by herself to get to America, she was unsuccessful. And because of this, she ends up going to graduate school in the same university. As she begins to intern at the foundation, she meets the infamous pianist Park Jun-young. The two of them get to know each other and slowly fall in love. Che Sung-ga was very forward with her feelings as well, which is very, very cute. And even though she's quite quiet, it's quite nice to see her just be straightforward. But then we have Lee Jung-kyung and her boyfriend Han Hun-ho come back from America, which causes a bit of a stir. Park Jun-young back in the day when they were in America, began to have feelings for Lee Jung-kyung when they were in America. But I said that twice, lol. But slowly throughout the drama, he sees his true love, Chae Sung-ga. This name is such a tongue twister to say, so Han Hyun-ho can see that Lee Jung-kyung is not the same as she used to be, and over time the two of them sort of break up. But hopefully, in the end, they try to start again. Since they were together for such a long time, and I think the time apart really helped them heal and truly understand what they want in terms of a partner. So I really hope they, after the story finished, that they were together. So this drama overall is quite wholesome, and I don't think it's a drama that everyone would watch and sit through, because I can see it can be boring to others, but for me particularly, I loved watching it. And that's because I can relate to Chae Sung-ga so much. And the fact that this drama revolves around piano and violin, and obviously some cello, is very close to me because I played violin and piano from such a young age, mainly violin, and I absolutely love playing these instruments. They're just been with me my whole life, but I'm not amazing at these instruments. So when I was younger, I used to attend orchestra, and this was all the way throughout school. And there were so many musicians who were so much better than me, and I always compared myself to these other musicians, particularly the violinists, because obviously that was what I was playing in the orchestra. I always tried to improve my violin, but I knew for a fact that I'm not amazing. I'm never going to be amazing because I'm not amazing at music generally. And the thing about violin is that it's so hard to be in tune sometimes, and particularly when you're changing positions as well. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to have that elegance of the violin and be in tune. So I really always wished I had perfect pitch, and this is where you remember the notes from memory as well. So if you listen to something, you can just play it. And because of this, I was not very good at violin, but I love playing the violin. And the only thing I remember actually about notes is when we would tune our violins at the start of rehearsal, and I only basically know the notes G, D, A and E from memory, and that's about it. But so when I was watching this drama, I really felt like playing my piano and violin straight away, which is what I did. So it was really nice to see that passion inside me just sort of reignite. But in the end of this drama, when Chae Sung-ga announces to her family that she will quit violin, I was crying so much because it was really hard to see her move on from her passion and her dream, and she had to understand that there was nothing more she could do from it because she wasn't amazing. And it was even more devastating when she sold her violin, and I was just like, mate, you don't have to sell your violin, you can still play it. But that was just too sad for me because she was crying at that point. I was just like, oh my god, so sad. But this drama does come down to personal preference, but I really liked it because of the instruments and the classical music, which I related to a lot in terms of Chae Sung-ga. So overall, this drama is such a great drama. You can watch it on the SBS World channel as well, which is on YouTube. So go give it a watch if you're into that sort of thing. I did have 2 other dramas to include, but I think it will make the podcast too long, and I'll leave them for another time maybe. So that's the end for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast episode. Be sure to give these dramas a watch if you like the sound of them. They all touched me in different ways, which is why I like them all. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple and YouTube. Be sure to follow the Instagram Cart Podcast, where you can leave your thoughts as well. And I could hear your thoughts about this podcast and the previous podcasts. So I'll see you next week. Bye.